Hello again. We are now on video 7. We have finished making the backbone of the elephant and we're going to build the body around it. Your project should look like this. The eyes are almost below the head and it looks like you might have gotten it wrong, but you haven't. That's because the elephant is going to be looking up like so. So the eyes are going to be a little from below center when you look at it from the side. Okay, let's build this elephant's body. We are now starting row 51. Okay, as our routine, we move the starting stitch marker up to the next row to show us where that first stitch is, which is going to be the corner of the backbone. Row 51 wants us to do 12 single crochets at the beginning. So here we go. Into that first stitch where our stitch marker is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then it wants us to do, the pattern calls for 4 increases in a row. So increase means putting 2 stitches instead of 1 from the single crochet below. This is 1 single crochet, the second one in the same stitch. That's the first one, first increase. 1 single crochet, another one in the same stitch. That's the second increase. 1 single crochet and then another one in the same stitch. That's our third single crochet. One last one. That's our third increase rather. One last increase. 1 and another single crochet in the same. Now we're gonna go work some single crochets on this side of the spine and around the head. That would be around the neck, and that would be 35 single crochets around, totaling 55. So let's go with the 35 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 around the spine, and then at the corner of that neck we'll start our 12th stitch. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, what did I say? 35, I think. Yep, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. We're back at the beginning. We mark that off on our sheet as done row 51. We move our stitch marker up to the next row. Here's our first stitch of the next row. And then we're ready to do row 52. Again, just expanding the body from the backbone. And while you're at it, you should stuff your head a little bit more to give it more of a shape. And I'll be right back. My piece of paper flew out. Okay, row 52 is 4 single crochet and an increase, and we have to do that 11 times for a total of 66 stitches. So you already know how to do an increase. We just have to make sure that we do it 11 times, and this is a good time to always check the count of stitches that you're supposed to have a total of, so that your body doesn't become uneven and crooked, which I've done on my first pass and had to redo. So now the pattern here is 4 single crochets. So we start with our first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. So that's just 2 single crochets from the same space. And since this is 11 repeats, I like to mark them so I know I've done 11 repeats. Let's choose a marker that's not the same color as my beginning marker, which is orange. So no orange markers are going to be in use, but I'm going to need 11 of them. So let's see. Pick for my toolbox all those markers that it's not orange. Okay, let's mark this one as the first repeat. You know, it's a little laborious to mark and then have to take out, but it's the best way of doing something without having to rip it up and do it again if you have it incorrectly. At least you can correct mistakes as you go along. So now 4 increases again, 4 single crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, an increase, so 2 single crochets in that same spot. That's our second repeat. Mark that as your second repeat. We have 9 more to go. One, 2, 3, 4, an increase. Same space, 2 single crochets. Okay, what am I up to? I've done 3 out of the 11. Sometimes when there's a lot of repeats that you're doing for a project, you could get distracted in the middle of that. So putting a marker is always a good bet, so you're not recounting from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, which means 2 single crochets in the same space from below. Four out of 11, and we're going around the spine. 1, 2, 3, oops, I didn't close this one, 3, 4, and increase, 5, and 6. So each pattern repeat should be 6 stitches, and if you do that 11 times, we have 11. 6 times 11, 66. That should be the total number. And also, we don't have to count 66 stitches if we mark all repeats, because we know we've done 11 repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same spot, 6. So you're at the end of the other side of the spine, and you should have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats. And we go around the neck 5 more times, 5 more repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the same spot, 6. It's our 7th repeat. I'll find a marker that's not orange. Here's a red one, a purple one. I need a couple more. A green one, and another pink one. Should be enough. Okay, keep going, keep plugging in. This is going to be a lot of stitches from here on in for a short while, for a few rows. Oops, where am I? 1 from the marker, which was the last repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More yarn out. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know I'm getting closer to the end of these repeats when I see the orange marker. I think I have to do one more, and then we'll count off and take off these markers, making sure that we have 11 repeats of the 4 single crochets plus 1 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the last stitch, 2 single crochets. 5, 6, totaling, that's 11 repeats. Let's check that. If you have 11 markers, it's perfect. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, around the spine, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. And we're back to the beginning. So let's remove these markers. You know, we've done the proper number of stitches, and we are finished with this row. And that was row 52. Let's remove all the markers except for the beginning marker, beginning of the row marker. Remove that up to designate the next starter stitch. So we've done row 52, and we're ready for 53, but first we designate the first stitch, which is this one. And we cross off 52, and we're ready to do 53. Okay, 53 calls for 10 single crochets and an increase, and we do that 6 times. So we really need another 6 markers that are not orange. 2, 4, 6. 10 single crochets. So row 53 says 10 single crochets and an increase. That would be 12 stitches per repeat, and we do that 6 times, totaling 72 stitches. So let's gently move the beginning marker and just go into that space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 single crochets finish and an increase. 11, one more in that space, 12. Let's mark that off. I usually like to mark my repeats if they're more than 4, because then that's just too long for my mind to remember, my brain to remember. So that's, we've done that one repeat. Let's do the next one. Make sure that we're in the right spot. Yep, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Need more yarn. Twice. 6, 7. Oh, not sure if I'm right about the 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase. 11, 12. So put that marker in there. So we've done 2 sets. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Marker. So in the spine we've made 1, 2, 3 repeats. Then we go around the neck. We need 3 more repeats of 12. 1. Oopsie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, same stitch, 12, that increase. So we've done 4, 2 more to go. I usually pull more yarn because I hate to lose my count. 10's pretty long for my brain once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Seeing the light at the end of the tunnel because the orange marker, my beginning marker, is starting to show up. Starting to be closer to my vision. So one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and on that last stitch, 2 single crochets. 11, 12. So each set is 12, and we should have 6, but let's count back. 1, 2, 3 around the spine, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 repeat markers of 12 stitches each equals 72. We are correct. So let's remove these markers again, except for the beginning marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have done row 53. We cross that off, and as our normal routine, we move that beginning stitch marker up to the next row. There you go. Now we're ready to do 54. For 54, we have to do the same thing from row 54 to row 62. We're just gonna go knit, crochet rather, single crochets around the spine, around the neck. And we're gonna do that for rows 54 to row 62. So why don't you go ahead and do that on your own? I'll do row 54 with you. So we should be doing 72 single crochets in each round. This is the first one. There's no increases on this row, straight single crochets, but a lot of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Since we're doing a lot of stitches, I usually like to mark put a stitch marker every 20 stitches so that if I lose count, I only have to go back 20 stitches or to the last marker and know that before that I've marked 20 stitches each. So now I've done 20, I'm going to do the next 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I've gone around the spine and have 2 sets of 20, totaling 40. And I have to do 72 in total, so I have to do another set of 20. That would make it 60 plus 12. Okay, total 72. Okay, count off to 20 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18, 19, 20. 3 sets of 20 equals 60. To get to 72, I need 12 more. 4 more yarn. And I see my orange marker. So I know I'm almost close to the end of this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're in the end of our round. Now we finish row 54 and move our stitch marker up to the beginning of the next row. This is our last stitch, therefore beginning would be this one. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and let you do 55 to 62 on your own because it's the same thing. It's just single crochets around. There's 72 stitches per round, and I'll see you after row 62. This is how the elephant is starting to look at the moment. So I'll see you after row 62.